Hi guys, welcome back to the Kaiser Domination series. And well, as we know, in the last video, World War II started. And with that, a lot of stuff happened, including a few offensives in the Eastern Front and Western Front. and Turkish Front. And well, at this point, Russia launches an offensive. And you may say, what are they going to achieve? Well, in the first part of their offensive, they make a nice, successful push to bring supplies into St. Petersburg. Well, they fall back to here. Well, they continue falling back. And to continue this offensive, they push. And in this part of the front, they push all the way to the border. Well, they start falling here. And where else is Russia launching a offensive? Yeah, in the Ukrainian puppet. At this point, Kiev falls. And I think that's where Kiev is. It might be over here or somewhere. With them getting greatly pushed back. Like really far back. And in this front, a push is made here. And with the directions made, up to here they withdraw from. Quickly falling out of this part of the front. And well, with Russia liberating what they claim, what they own. Well, the Balkan part of this offensive in Eastern Europe begins. In the nation of Baltica, yes, the Baltic nations. The United Baltic Republic loses quite significant amounts of land. And well, at this point, let's go to the Balkan Campaign, with Turkey moving in the rest of the Balkan front. And they take Istanbul back, and they move deeply into them, having the goal of liberating Romania and Serbia and taking over Bulgaria. And they even move into Greece. And they take over the island of Crete and a few minor islands, but it's lands. And well, France decides to invade Spain. Do they consult any other allies? No. Should have they? Yes. Did they? No. Yes. Are they going to surrender? No. They're gone mad. And do they own North Africa? Yes, they do. But guess what? I didn't give them it, because I'm yeah, nothing. Nothing there to say. I promise. Why would I? And why does Britain keep holding on to that? Like, they got nothing there in this series. So what's the point, Britain? Can you honestly tell me? I swear Britain just wants to take everything over. Like, they don't want to just take over anything. They want to take everything. They think everything is theirs. They're like a thief I'll never get charged for stealing. And yes, the Franco outburst. Yes, we don't like France. We like France. France is really great, honestly. North America is great. Just don't ask what they did when they took over those lands. Also, don't ask South Americans. And don't ask another nation. I don't know their name, but they're very... No, I do know their name. I'm just not saying it because I don't feel like it. Because I'm too busy invading Spain. And honestly, they deserve it. Do you know how much pain there? Oh, well, the plural of it. But they put the S in wrong, so they got Spain. And with it not only on this front, but they come in from the south. And I just realized I didn't set anything much up to happen here. But let's not worry about that, as more forces come in from the south, connecting their front. And this front in the north, it quickly takes over Barcelona. Well, let's see who joins. Oh, Spain, you might be in trouble. Portugal joins, and Egypt, but right now we're going to look at Portugal's part of it, as they quickly connect with French African forces, and they move into the Galicia region of Spain, and they attempt to move towards Madrid, but they're quickly stopped with the front line looking like this. Yeah, Knock it off, they say. But guess what? Nobody cares. In Egypt, let's see what Egypt does when they join. Why? I need to drink more water. And the reason you should drink a lot of water, it's highly recommended. You wanna know why? Because then you don't get a dry throat, and that's just annoying. So drink water. And if you don't, I'm gonna throw you into the Mediterranean Sea. Also, I can't throw. I don't have the arm strength to throw anyone. So, yeah. Do what you want with that. And let's go. Oh, Turkey invades Levant. Yeah, I mean, they want it back. They're pretty greedy. Well, not as greedy as Britain. When in doubt, blame Britain. I wish people just blamed Britain more. It's so fun. Gladly I'm not a part of the US. The best part is that they're not part of America. America's actually good. Or is it? Depends on who's asking. If you're viewing an American, then America's great. If you're viewing a not an American, it's awful. Hey, look, they're moving into this region. They're making it Turkish again. Make the world Turkish again. Yeah, I don't think I want to speak Turkish. Let's join the war at this point. Scotland joins the war. And well, no, the British Isles are in this. Well, not the British Isles. Ireland's just ignoring it. But will they stay out? Maybe not. Maybe they will. Who knows? With them advancing into the southern part of what I'd consider, yeah, they can move into their southern lands. A small English counter-offensive, but realistically, it's just enough to create a stalemate. And at this point, let's go east. Let's go Russia hunting. Oh, yeah, that probably doesn't sound as great as I thought it would. But, you know, who cares? Who cares? Well, that's actually a bad mindset. Who cares? But it's the best one to use when you don't care. With the Baltics getting pushed back in, this offensive starts slow, but they get kicked out of the Belarusian puppet. And they move into northern parts of the Ukrainian puppet. And they use this to advance through the rest of the front. Well, they manage to push into all that they've gained in the last part. Not all of it yet, but most of it. And this is not a minor offensive, despite looking like it at this point. It's not, with them fully kicked out of their gains in today's episode. I mean, that's very significant. They have less land soon. With a landing in Crimea being a success, they manage to get to here, but they decide to come from here to get to the rest of it. With them taking back all of what Ukraine had in the last episode. Pretty cool. Well, now for the anti-Russia offensive. Is it anti-Russian to not let people speak Russian? Decide that in the comments section. Please go to war in my comments section, because I really like engagement. And I like every human. Especially when they like to argue. The more argumentative a human is, the better. With them rapidly advancing into St. Petersburg on this offensive, and they advance forwards along the front line. Well, yeah. Let's see. Will they continue to hold there, or will they fall back? And well, now let's go back to Spain. Oh, Spain. I just got something to tell you. You're not going to make out of this alive. Like, you're not even going to make it to the finish line. I can barely speak Spanish, but I could speak it. Well, that's a lie. That's a big lie, but it has some truth to it. I speak like 7 words, maybe a sentence. I'd probably embarrass myself if I tried. Yeah. I'd be worse at French than Quebec is at French. Wait, no, that's a lie, because it's Spanish. Maybe, yeah. Well, if you learn the words, then you speak to somebody, they'll understand you. But just don't run, because Somebody won't. And then you'll embarrass yourself. Well, embarrassment is kind of fun. Madrid has already fallen, with Portugal continuing this offensive to link with French forces managing to launch a successful offensive against this stretch of the coast, and Portugal manages to cut off the northern area and then do this. And French forces cut across the northern part. Well, at this point, this area surrenders in this area. With Spain collapsing, and at this point, well, that's pretty much all for today's video. And well, let's quickly fix the borders. And look what France did. They took over Spain. They did absolutely nothing. And not much has changed, let's be for real. Who will win? Will the blue or red? Comment your thoughts. And well, we'll have to see what happens. Well, that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys!